All right. Testing one, two, three. I'm hoping this is going to work. I just had a error message, but I think I'm all good now. So if you're hopping on, give me a thumbs up or say hello. Let me know that you can hear me. Welcome to Feel Good Friday live with Pamela, where I'm creating two fun fold cards. I'm Pamela with Passion About Scrapbooking, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the Texas Hill Country in Fredericksburg, Texas. So say hello and let me know that you can hear me because I had an error message on the audio right when I went live. However, I think it's corrected now. My AirPods just weren't connecting. So I don't see anybody on yet. Hello, hello. Is anyone there? Can anyone hear me? Let me check on my own. Hope everyone's doing well today. Okay, it shows I'm live. All right, I can hear myself now. All right, so we'll get into it. So if you're joining me, say hello, let me know you're here and what you have going on for the weekend. It's Friday, finally. I'm looking forward to a quiet weekend to kind of catch up on some things around the house. It's been a busy few weeks. I've been off schedule, so I'm excited to get back on schedule. And let me check one more thing here. Well, let's see. I'm not sure if anything's working. Is Facebook down? Interesting. Maybe I need to try again later. Is anyone on YouTube that can tell me if Facebook is down? 'Cause I'm not getting anything from Facebook. Crazy. Hey, Charisse, thank you. I don't know what's going on. I was just looking online and I can't get Facebook to pull up. I just have the blue F on the screen. Wonder if I need a new tab. I'm not getting anything from Facebook. Who knows? All right. Well, I won't worry about it. Thanks for joining me, Jennifer and Charisse. Thank you so much. On my end, I can't even pull up Facebook on my computer, so I don't know what's going on there. Anyhow, we'll just move forward. Just took a little bit for everybody to jump on and say hello, so I knew you could hear me and see me. Thanks for your help. I appreciate it. I do always have the backup plan of my software is recording, thank goodness. so I could always upload it if I needed to. However, let's go ahead and get into what's happening with Stamping Up. Just a real quick reminder, we have the Suite Collection promo going on. When you buy one suite, you can get one suite for 50% off, or any of the products that are in the suite. So like a bundle that's in a suite. If you buy the Cheers and Sips, then you can pick another one and get it half price, or depending on which one is the lowest price. And I did notice yesterday that if you put like 4 bundles, I'm not 100% sure, but I had two free or two 50% off items in my cart when I added all the products in the cart that I'm using this week. The lowest priced items, which were the ribbon and the, actually, I didn't have those in there. So maybe it was, and those are discontinued. I don't know. There were two promo items that were 50% off. So I must have had 4 sweet products in the cart. So maybe they've changed it so you can do more than just 2 items and you don't have to make multiple orders. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that or not, but check that out. A great deal right now. There's lots of sweet products available. And again, don't forget about the album retreat. If you're joining me for album retreat, let me know. It's going to be an awesome time with Stamping Up on July 16th through the 18th. They'll do 12 different live videos over the course of 3 days, and we'll create 12 2-page 12 by 12 layouts. So similar to what I do every Monday for my Make It Monday Live. So it'll be awesome. I promise and guarantee it. All right, so let me share with you what we've created so far with the Celebratory Sips Scrap and Create Kit. So I've done a 2-page layout. This is what I created on Monday. I created it on Tuesday, actually, because I was off schedule this week, but this was my Make It Monday Live. And I loved how it turned out. And then I did a 12 by 12 scrapbook page yesterday for story and sketch. And I did make up a sketch with this. So I have a PDF file for that. And then look at all the, even after doing all of this, what we're going to create today, we still have all these scraps left over to make more projects. You can do lots with this Scrap and Create kit. Let me move some things around over here. I got an order in earlier I wanted to share with you a few other items that coordinate with this Celebratory Sips. This is the Scrap and Create kit. You get your designer series paper, some watercolor paper, several sheets of cardstock, 8.5 by 11. I even threw in half a sheet of, um, what is it? White willow, plus the pieces that you'll need for your 12 by 12 scrapbook pages, and that Timid Tiger two-toned cardstock, and a sampling of the embellishments. And then I wanted to bring this in as well to share with you. I did not get the scrapbook workshop yet. I decided to get the Celebrate Together stamp set that coordinates with the scrapbooking workshop kit, but just the products in general. Hello, Evelyn. Thanks for joining me. And there's lots of great things here for scrapbooking. This would have been great earlier in the week, but I didn't get it in time. Look at the tab here and little sprinkles and the arrow. And then you've got lots of great little sentiments or words that could go on your scrapbook page. So, four of our suites in the new catalog have coordinating stamp sets for scrapbooking. So, be sure to check that out. There are also sticker sheets, but you have to buy to get the sticker sheet, you have to get the designer series paper with it. So I've got another pack of designer series paper plus the sticker sheet. So you could use this on your cards, but it's made for scrapbooking especially. And then we do have combo packs of designer series paper. I don't know if you could see this, but there's Blackberry Bliss, Cloud Cover, Daffodil Delight, Fresh Freesia, Pool Party, and Strawberry Slush in the Celebrate Together combo pack. And this is two-tone cardstock. So you get two sheets of each, I believe, that coordinate with this collection of products. So I'll be doing something else with that down the road. I'm just not sure when or what. So let's get busy creating our fun fold cards today. We're going to make bookbinding or book fold cards. Not sure what the technical term of that is. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee real quick. I have most everything pre-cut and ready, so we just have to maybe do a little stamping on the second card because I want to show you like how to put together the umbrella, and then we might stamp a couple of little images here for our second card. But I've got everything ready for the first card. It'll go together pretty quickly. Turned out pretty cute. And then we're going to use, I know we're using this on the first card, and I don't know that I'll use this. I used it on Monday, but these are not available at the moment. I think they're expected back around June, the week of June 30th. You can actually go now to the website and go to the item and put in your email address, and they'll email you when the product hits the store again. So that's a great new feature that Stampin' Up! Has put into place. Love that. And then I'm going to use some, I think I'm doing it. Well, I think both of these are actually used on this one. And I haven't fully decided what we're going to do on this one yet. So I'm going to set it aside. We're going to do that one last. There's our embellishments we have left over that we'll use on these. And since we're doing a bookbinding fold, I'm going to do two variations. I have my 1/8 inch hole punch that comes in a trio with two other punches. I'll grab those and just show those. I've used these quite a bit lately, so I really love this trio of punches, and it worked perfect for the bookbinding and adding some ribbon. All right, so let's get busy here, and I think we'll do that first, so we'll have everything pretty much ready. So I think I need one more little piece of this for the inside, but I want to do this folder with this today. And see, I love this folder because it stops right over here. The pattern just kind of fades out and it gives a neat texture. So I'm going to use that today by putting my paper over here so you can kind of see that it'll only emboss like right over here, and this will remain unembossed. So I'm going to put that aside and bring over my cut and emboss machine. Hello, Christine. Good morning. And I think my plate, yep, is right under there. And then these are not 3D, so you can just use plate 2 and then sandwich it between two number 3 plates. Then you have this cool texture. Just adding texture to your card takes it up a level. I really love that. So one thing I do want to do real quick, I've got this piece. I'm going to go through my scraps. Let me find there we go. And we're going to dig through here and see if, there we go, right there. That's what I want. That same pattern. And I want to cut, I think, a 3/4 inch by, I think that's not going to be long enough. So I'm going to do it this way. Watch. So I don't waste that scrap. I'm not going to cut another one. It doesn't have to go all the way across. Let me find my scissors. I like put the cap on them earlier, but now I don't even know what I did with my scissors. Where are my scissors? There they are. So see how it's kind of rounded right there? I'm just gonna cut it like at an angle. All right, and then we'll just use it like that. All right, so another thing I want to do before we like score and fold and all that, I'm going to use my Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to tap over here just a little bit, and then just kind of in the center, I'm just going to swirl some color on here. I'm going to bring it darker over here a little bit, and then lighter out here. And this will just even add a little more texture. So I think that'll work. I'm going to wipe up that, and I'm going to let Jasper outside. But I think we're done with the Daffodil Delight. And now I think we have everything pretty much prepped. So let's bring in our paper trimmer. So what's everyone got planned for the weekend? All right, so I've got a 5 1/4 by 8 1/2 inch piece. I'm going to score it at 4 1/4 to begin with. So you have your standard size card here. And then I want from this score line, I want 1 1/4 inch. So I'm going to go down this way, and it'll end up 3 inches right here. And you can score it. And this will give you a 1 1/4 inch binding for our card right here. So we're going to fold it in this way to make your standard size card. I dropped my bone folder earlier and I don't remember picking it up, so I'm going to grab it off the floor and crease that. And then I'm going to take this and fold it backwards. All right, so we've got this look right here, okay? Now, the very first thing I can do is let's close up that book binding right here. So we're going to put glue right down there and then just hold that in place. So that is sealed right there. And then all you have is this flap going on right here. Make sure that glue is in there good. All right, now we can just start kind of layering our pieces. This piece is a 5 1/4 by 1 inch piece. And you can turn it however you want. Feels a little heavier down here, so I'm going to put it right there and just put it in that panel. And then this piece should fit right in here. It was a 2 3/4 inch by 5 1/4. So Evelyn says, at the weekend, I'm going to take part in a stamping retreat that is done by two well-known French demonstrators. It's the 11th time. That's awesome. That's fun. Kind of jealous. I haven't. I keep seeing these DDMs doing events, but not in Texas that I'm aware of, or not anywhere around me. So I'm missing out on all the fun get-togethers. All right, then let's go ahead and take this piece and put it on the inside. It's the same size as this one was. And that should be sealed shut now, so you should be good there. You could put white over here too if you wanted to, if you had extra or even pattern paper, but if you needed more room to write. Okay, so this is still too long. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was thinking going long like this. So I'm going to do, I'm just going to do this, just with freehand it, I think. And I'm going to put that right in there. Who are the demonstrators, Evelyn, that are doing this retreat? All right, so this I cut out of that sheet that has, I don't know if I have any left. Let me see if I have some in here. I have bits and pieces of it. Maybe I'll show you a different one. One second. Just so you kind of know where everything's coming from. There, so like these, I think it's that one and that one. So I actually just fussy cut out this one right here out of there. And not to use it as a drink, but just kind of as a background for my drink. So everything I did in this one was fussy cut. So I'm going to pop these up with some dimensionals. So I took a few different ideas from some cards I found on Pinterest and kind of combined them into one card. You could pop this up too, but that would get it pretty bulky. So I'm just putting a dimensional on the lemon here. So this could be like lemonade, and then put adhesive on the rest. So it can just kind of nest in here like that. And it's just going to help it kind of pop off the page, off the card. I cut a few of these out of that paper right there. So I could set down here, probably use some mini dimensionals or just one. You see where I want it on here exactly. About like that. So I'm gonna put down in this corner. And maybe up one over on that edge. And then just a little bit of adhesive right there, glue. Tilt it a little bit more. There we go. So kind of like that. And then let's do, where's my stamp set? There it is. So we do need a little scrap of, let me see if I have any strips. Not really. I have some white cardstock. I'm going to cut like a 1/4 inch strip. And we'll see that these little sentiments fit perfectly on little 1/4 inch strips. And we're going to do It's Your Day. I'm going to stamp that in Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to stamp it right over here on the end. Look, it fits on there just perfectly. This kind of goes along with my journaling strips I love to do. It's super tiny, but cute. And then I'm going to do a half a dimensional here if I can get it up. Okay. I want it right on this end. I think I pulled the backing off of the one next to it. Put a little liquid glue like right over here. And we'll put it right in here. And then now we can foo-foo it up with some ribbon. So if you want to be fairly accurate, I'm gonna put it in between. This is like the middle right here, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, I want maybe right here. Just going up this line and gonna put a little dot there and then go over here to this line and put a little dot. And then we can just push this in and it actually goes, that's as far as it'll go, is right up there where I put that dot. Move down to the other dot, punch a hole. You're punching through all those layers and it went through really pretty easy. So now you've got these two holes there. We've got some ribbon. So I'm going to keep my rubber band in there. Hey, Debbie. Uh, I actually slept really good last night. So actually some energy today, I guess. Last 2 mornings, I've wanted to go back to sleep. I need to check my sleep number and see how well I really did on my sleep because It's funny how I was like, I think I slept really good. And I'll look at my sleep number and it's like, no, you really didn't. And I was like, okay, if you say so. Sometimes I don't think it knows what it's talking about. All right, so we'll figure out how much. I want to do an actual bow, so I'm going to give myself plenty of ribbon. And then we still have all this left. So let's first, I'm going to see if they're the same length and get them to about the same length. So I can kind of, there we go. Just kind of straighten them out like that. There we go. And then I'm going to tie here. And now here's something that I've done before. Used my self-closing tweezers to hold that tight. And let's see where my, and you can just kind of pull it out. You can do it this way, wherever the, and I might just leave it kind of long like that. Now that might be a little long. I don't usually want it longer than my card because it won't fit in the envelope. But there's that. And then let's finish it off with some holographic dots. I know there's another word in there for that, and I holographic resin. They're holographic resin dots. Um, there it is. We'll do a big one. There's 3 different sizes here. We'll do one out over here and a medium one, like right down here, with a baby one. All right, there's our first card. Pretty simple. Who's made a like a book binding card, or do you know another name for it? So there's our first card. Could even do, so let's, it's your day. Um, might as well throw in the word cheer in here somewhere. I think it just is fun to add a little bit more even into the inside, especially if it's just stamping. I'm gonna put that. I'm just gonna stick with my Blackberry Bliss. And you could put cheers right there. All right, that finished it off. That works. Okay, I love those. They're fun. Okay, and let's do the next one, which is going to be a also a bookbinding card, just in a different orientation. So I've got now a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece. And I think we're going to build the card because I don't have it completely figured out decoration wise. So this one we're going to score at 5 1/2. Make sure you have a scoring blade. And then we'll go down. It doesn't matter which way you go, really. You'll just flip your card around. But say this is the back, this is the top. No, let's go this way, just because I don't have to pull my arm out. We're going to go again 1 1/4 inch. So it ends up being 4 1/4. I liked this one because so this will be the front. This ends up being 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So we'll fold here first. And then you can kind of fold that back. I don't think I would score it because you really want it to still kind of lay flat some. And then we'll do the exact same thing. This time, you could either do it this way, or I was going to do it this way. So it opens up like that. So put your glue, maybe, right in there. Close it. Make sure you don't have any squishing out right here. You'll want to clean that up if so. All right, so I didn't have any like of the secret C in cardstock in the kit. So I'm going to use the back side of that kind of as my cardstock layer, but it's designer series paper. So let's do this down first. So that ends up being 4 inches by 1 inch. Make sure it's straight. I think it is. And then this is a 4 by 4. Kind of lined up right there. So you still get some of that strawberry slush. That's what our cardstock is. And we have this piece that goes on the inside. So it's a 4 by 4 as well. Go ahead and put that in there. We'll figure out how to decorate it up a little bit too. So we may have to cut some pieces. Oh, well, it's down. Might be a little crooked. And then these are layers that I wanted to put on there. I didn't want a whole bunch of the Secret C showing, just a hint of color. So now I'm using the cloud cover pattern just to layer on here. So a few more layers than the other card. Okay, now we need to do some decorating. And we're going to do a little bit of stamping this time. So let's bring in our stamp set and dies. So let's do this one. And we'll just kind of lay it on there so it falls flat. And I want the black memento. Yes, Debbie and I live like a mile or two away from each other. So our plan right now is for her to come over here to my house and I've got a big monitor here that we can watch it from. All right, so I'm going to use this one right here because it had the strawberry slush in it. Mostly, it has a little bit of the timid tiger. Now, you can bring in, if you have the dies, you can totally cut that out. But if you don't have the dies, you can also just fussy cut it out because they're super easy just to fussy cut out. So I just thought I'd do that to show that option. So maybe you don't have a die cut machine, so you fussy cut everything. Okay, so there's that piece. And now I also want to, let me clean this and put it away. Well, right now, just here, it's just Debbie and I that'll be together. I haven't found a lot of people in Fredericksburg that actually scrapbook. So that's why most of my business is online. All right, so there's that piece. And now I want to do this piece. Now I don't really have any one to fit on. This is not going to be useful. So I brought this piece in and it's going to be a full glass of whatever right here. We're going to do this one. Now, when we're at home, our glasses are full. When we go to the wine tasting event, I'm going to make sure I'm on the paper here. This is how our glasses are at home, but at the winery vineyards, they're like down here. You'd have like that much in your cup. And they get away with charging a lot of money for that little bitty sip. I don't know how they came up with that idea and people went for it, but it's like, goodness. All right, so again, I'm just going to fussy cut it out. It's almost quicker because it's so simple than pulling the machine out and whatnot. All right, so let's clean up a little bit of our mess real quick. If we do end up having more people here, I do have a big dining room table that'll seat, well, it'll seat 6 to 8 people, but for scrapbooking, you can't get that many people around it. So maybe like 4 people. But I think it's just going to be Debbie and I. All right. So I have this piece. I think I want it to be a little bit skinnier. First, I was going to do, I don't know. I just liked it a little bit skinnier. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape there just to hold it in place. I'm going to cut this piece down to 1/2 inch. It was a 1/4 inch, but it just seemed a little heavy. Maybe it wouldn't be that good. Well, you wouldn't get to try as many because it'd be kind of dangerous to have 5 glasses filled to the top. All right, so I'm kind of thinking building up something kind of like this. I want a little piece of ribbon back here too, I think. So let me cut off some of it. I think that's at the same angle. So let me cut this one at a. So there's several ways. I was going to, let me see if I can find what I did with it. I had my tearing tape handy, but now it's not handy. Oh, there it is. Just didn't quite make it over to the caddy. Oh, I just had an idea. I could do it like this. So it's kind of hard to like get this on here straight. So we're gonna just put it straight on the card right here. And then I can pull up this. And now I can lay my ribbon right down there, just like that. And there, it almost ended up perfectly straight. And then this piece, I'm just going to put some liquid glue, I think. And we're going to put it right here. Move it around a little bit. I'm going to hold it down to. And then these, I'm going to kind of put behind here a little bit lower. I want these just to poke out behind here, and then we're going to decorate it up. So we'll do a little bit of stamping and maybe die cutting out of some of these pieces. I'm going to put this one down first with dimensionals. I know, we just need to get together more, Debbie. If I can get my act together. But just one thing after another has been going on. And I'll put it right here. Kind of overlapping like this. So I hope this one turns out cute. We'll see. Um, okay, so let's see what maybe we should do like strawberries and cherries with a little bit of green, maybe. So, well, we could do this and we can, oh, look at this, y'all. Because I got in, I actually have them all. So, look, I have all the colors, just these. Haven't gotten the Timid Tiger or the, um, what is it? Darling Duckling stamping blends. So they're on my wish list. All right, so I was thinking instead of bringing green in, maybe we'll do something like this and keep it more secret sea, and I think that'll work. I think that'll be neat. Okay, so let's get a scrap. So in my packet, I still have that sheet where I've been stamping on. I even have a couple of little grapes there. So let's stamp just a couple of things. I do want to make a little umbrella to put like over here. So, because we haven't done that, might need, that'll work. All right. So we will do a little die cutting. So we need that. We just need one. And now I use this, I have played with this a little bit. It has a little curly Q on top, but we kind of cover it up. We'll put it, you can die cut this out too. There's actually a die for that to make the little stem or whatever you want to call it on your umbrella. And then strawberry, let's do it. I think just one. We'll do a cherry too. Here in Texas, school starts back up in mid-August usually. So I think Bevan starts her college classes right at the end of August. I'm gonna do this one. And I don't have any kiddos anymore in the public schools. Woohoo! Okay. And I think I will do that. I love this one. This kind of reminds me of rosemary. And then there's, what is that saying? Too. Okay. This one, I really love it. So I steer clear of that bunch that looks like, um, haven't stamped the olive yet. Jeff hates olives. Can't stand them. I love them, but not in my drinks. I just like to eat olives or have them in my food, but yeah, can't stand them. Because you either love them or hate them. All right, and we did the ice cubes on Monday, I think, so I won't do those. There's a little stem right here that I guess I could have used for I just ended up using this one. This could be like this shadow effect too. I think you could use it. I just hadn't tried that yet. Okay, so I think that's all. So let's do a little bit of coloring. Kind of have to decide what we want. I think I want I'm going to do the light. I think I'm going to color it. Let's do, I guess I could have used my brush tip, but so this is Secret C. And this is cloud cover. Now, if you haven't heard about the issue with the cloud cover ink pad, they discontinued it. It's actually on the website in the Last Chance products, I think. And I actually have one because they sent me one when I did my on stage event or presentation. But there was an issue with the color interacting with the felt pad, foam pad. It's more foam. And there was just some type of interaction, and it was making the cloud cover go kind of grayish instead of, it's got kind of a blue gray tint. It was kind of a muddy color. However, the stamping blends are the true color and work great. And then the other option, which I thought I might try this week, but I didn't, is to take one of the um, felt, I guess that's felt or linen is what that's made out of. These little stamping spots that are empty, they're no color in there. And you can take a reinker and fill this up, and that's how you can get your ink stamp, your ink pad with the true color. So just FYI. And then I'm going to use that again. I think that's the light. And I'm going to, don't know, it'll probably just look black. But instead of green, I just thought I'd stick with these same shades that I have on my card. It doesn't always have to be, what you think, like a leaf has to be green. Doesn't have to be. And then I think I'm going to do this one in dark. Actually, maybe I'll do it light. And then I'll use the dark to shade the veins a little bit. Just a little bit right down the center. There's a little bit of shading you can see. Okay, and then let's do our strawberry. This is, I think this is the light. Yeah, how vibrant it is. It's very bright. So I'll color both of these with the light. And then I'll come in with some dark and maybe just shade half of it a little bit. So just a little bit of light right there. I'll do this one on this side. And then I've got to hit these leaves too right here. All right, I think that's good. And then I think that'll finish off. We'll do some ribbon up here as well, similar to what we did, but let me move that out of the way and bring in my plates. I do need to bring my number 2 plate back in. Let me get these. So 1, 2, 3, and 3. And we will need this one, this one, strawberry, cherry, leaf, and leaf. Maybe we can get all these cut out at the same time if I didn't put them too close together. So I have a few pieces of tape there. This one's always a little bit tricky because, all right, so I think that's good. That's why these little holes are here, kind of, so you can see down and see that stem. I need more tape to hold everything else down. I think I do have them spread out enough that I can do it all at the same time. We shall see. I filled a stamping spot with cloud cover, but there was a video of a German demonstrator who had washed out the big ink pad and then refilled it with the refiller. Turned out perfect. Alrighty. And then our cherry. Yeah, I love the new in colors. And even the other ones are, is this one not going to, this one's probably not quite, I think I'm gonna have to do that one separate because I got it too close to that down and then this down. Okay, I think I'm good there, maybe. There we go. And then, cute. That really does look like a strawberry. Perfect color. That strawberry slush is yummy. There, I think I'm gonna like that. It's a little bit very different variation from doing green because I just don't think bringing green into this card would have really worked. There's that. Let me see if I got it. I got it. Look, I cut it pretty good. A little stem, or I don't know if it'd be a toothpick or what exactly. And let's do our little cherry real quick. Same thing, trying to find, I think that's going to be good. Trying to line up the stem is a little tricky, but it can be done. This is making me hungry I've been making a frozen strawberry protein shake. The protein is clear protein that it's a lemonade. So it's lemonade and strawberry, or strawberry lemonade, I guess is what you call it. And it is so yummy. And now I want some. All right. So let's see if we can decorate this up and make this cute. So I think if you're just barely gonna see that because it's gonna go kind of like this, something like that. So I'm just gonna glue that down, tuck that down in there and glue it. And then this little part, you could, I bet this is for the olive. That's what it's reminding me of like doing the olive. Y'all can't even see it. You could poke it through the olive or something. However they do that for, is it martinis? I don't know. I don't drink those, so I don't know. All right, I may have to find my pen to, whoops, there was too much. Okay, so I think I can just stick it to the side of the dimensionals that I have on there, and then do this. Just kind of like that, I think. And I was thinking about this earlier. I wondered if I wanted to slit it and make it look like it was kind of sitting. I'm not sure yet. On here, I just kind of have to figure out where I want to put all this stuff. Where's my other one? Did I cut it out? Yeah. Is it hiding somewhere? I don't know what I did with that piece. Just, oh, there it is. All right, so now let me just kind of play around, see what it looks like, what I like. Hmm, I'm not sure. Should I do something like this? My fingers are sticking. I think I'm gonna make this like full right here. And then I'm not sure yet what we're gonna do with the cherry. I think I'm gonna do it out like this. And then I think I'm going to tuck that in here. I think I like the strawberry there, so I'm going to put a mini dimensional right there at the top. And I think just like that. Trying to see where I want it exactly. Maybe just kind of like that somewhere. I guess that'll work. I think that'll work. I'm just gonna put it, whoops, kind of tilting off the very corner there. Just needs to sit there, let the glue, I think. All right, so let's do this. We'll bring in a little bit more bling. And then, of course, we have our gems. Same thing. If you want to mark it with a pencil, you can. If not, could just bring, how about I put it like 3/4 of an inch right here, come over here and do the exact same thing. And when I push it right up in there, it gets right about center. That one's a little bit closer, but we will do the same thing. This time, I think I'm just going to do a knot and not a bow. I should have this. There we go. Just got to squeeze a little bit of it there and then you can pull it through. I am trying to, you can maneuver this if you want to maybe lay a little flatter. So you have to, it's not a big deal really, because when it's tight, it's like that. It's probably enough, more than enough. I'm gonna have to trim that a different way. And then this time I'm just gonna do a knot. You could do that again if you wanted to. Hold that for you so it stays tight. I'm gonna see how. And if you wanted to do a bow, totally can. I just decided I would do it a little bit different than the last one. If you want to make it shorter, which I think I am, right there. Okay, so just a little bling up there. I think that helps. It's not going to go how I want it to, really. Just even if it just went out like that, you could even glue dot it down if you wanted it to go right across there like that. I think I'm going to. Just put a little glue dot right there. You really won't even be able to see it, I don't think. And then you can just make it do what you want it to do. puff it up just a tiny bit right there. There. Just gonna leave it like that. I don't know. Okay, we need a couple more holographic resin. That's what it's called. Holographic resin dots. I remembered that time. All right, I think that's gonna end up being fairly cute. I like the other one better though, I think, my other card. Okay, so let's do down here. We still have quite a few dots left over. So we could add a few extra if we wanted to. Maybe do one more little one, like up here. All right. So let me move everything and bring in our other card. I didn't finish the inside of this one. Oh, you know what I need? I need a sentiment. Do we want to do just cheers since there's two cups? I think so. I could even do like cheers to us. So not quite done. Second. I need to clean that. It's not very sticky. And then I think it would be good with, do I have it? I don't have it in my stack of colors, but it would probably look best with Secret Sea. And looking in my scraps again, I don't know if I left those out. This might piece, this piece right here might work really well. All right, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stamp it down here. I'm going to cut it this way. And I'm also going to trim a little bit off. If you wanted to do it with your trimmer, you could. Then I think that's gonna fit like right in here real good. Guess we'll just put it up in here. I'm not sure. I was thinking just matching it up like that. I don't know that I don't want to cover it up. I'm just gonna stick it on here. I don't know how I like it. There's also, I like the 2S. Let me see if that's 2S. Here's, so this could be like an anniversary card. I'm gonna do this little, it's too tiny. These are so tiny. Look how tiny these are. Let me see if I can find, there's that strip I had. And I think I'll do it that way too. Just so it all kind of matches. Here's to us, maybe like right over here. I think I want it. We'll just do it like that. Not sure that I'm super crazy about that, but that'll work. And I have one more idea. Because we didn't do anything on the inside. Let's do a piece of this on the inside. We'll just do like a 1/4 inch. We'll do it this way. Similar to this piece. Let's open it up and see what. And we'll do that. And then I'm going to stamp one more thing in here. It's so funny because when I was a close to my heart maker, I made lots of cards, but I focused more on my scrapbooking. And rarely did I ever decorate the inside of my cards. And now, since I've seen all the Stampin' Up! Demonstrators decorating the inside of the card, then I feel like I have to do that too. Let's celebrate. How cute. Okay, now I'm done. Thank y'all for joining me today. So here are our cards, our bookbinding cards. I'm not sure if I've actually made one of these before. I might have long ago. But we used some of the dry embossing, fussy cut out, did that ribbon through the bookbinding just to add the ribbon there. And then this one was more stamping involved. And then the bookbinding kind of opens up a different way. All right. Thanks so much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed the cards, all the projects that we made for the week. I had, oh, my other card, my Thursday treat card too. Figured I'd put all this out here so you could see everything real quick. So just to finish off our week, there was our scrapbook pages, our cards, and then this was a bonus card that I made that inspired my scrapbook page here. So, all right. I think it was a great week. Even though I was off track all week, except for today, I'll be back on track next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. And I do believe I know what we're creating with next week. But I don't remember is it Weekend Adventure? Is that what they're called? So we're going to be doing something a little bit more rustic using Weekend Adventures designer series paper, stamp set. Oh, and we are going to have some fun next week with the party alphabet dies. I don't know if you saw the post from Stamping Up with Sarah and Melody, but Melody shared a ton of ideas using the party alphabets dies, and I can't wait to try some of those techniques. So I think I'm going to do that next week. So y'all have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for commenting and sharing and talking back and forth to one another. God bless you all. See you next week, I hope. Bye.